When we get our first job as a designer, we have to be mindful of all the different interactions that we're going to have, not just with our design counterparts. So today, in this video, we're going to be talking about all the different roles and interactions that you'll have as a designer and how those relationships will help you grow as a designer as well. Sure, you'd interact with other designers in your day-to-day, but you'd be surprised how often you collaborate with other teams and departments that aren't just designers. Especially if you're the only designer on a team or the only designer at a company, your interaction with other designers will be very small or none because you don't have other design counterparts. And so this is why it's really important to be able to communicate and know what these other roles are. So I want to talk about this in the concept of onions. Yes, onions, because onions have layers. And the way I want to describe these different interactions is through different layers. So basically, just think of it like as a circle, and you're here in the center of the circle, and then each layer is just another level of interaction. Now, these levels of interaction will change, of course, depending on the context of your role, but this is a general perspective of what it's like and who you're going to be interacting with on the day-to-day. So the first layer is product managers and engineers. And the reason for that is because product managers, designers, and engineers form this kind of trifecta. And in this group of these three different departments and roles, there is a very direct interaction with the product experience, all the way from the business and problem side of it to the build. And so this is why your interactions are going to be with product managers and engineers a lot of the time. So product managers are the people who take responsibility of the larger business objectives and then the customer needs and finding solutions that can address both. And then you have your engineers who are responsible for the technical implementation, the coding side of things, and how these features and products are built from the code side and implemented into the internet, mobile app, whatever your product is. And so honestly, for me, my day-to-day, my interactions are with my product manager and engineer more so than my other design counterparts sometimes. And, depending on the company and where you work, it will determine your structure and who you work with. But in my particular case, I work in these squads where you have a product manager, a designer, and engineers that collaborate and work together to push the ideas and products forward into the internet or the web or space. You know what I mean. Point is, my day-to-day is very closely working with them and figuring out, looking at the problem, finding a solution, and then figuring out how to implement the solution. So let's talk about layer 2, customer experience, sales, and marketing. And the reason why I think these different roles or these different departments are extremely important for designers to be aware of is because of the high levels of customer and people interaction that they have on the day-to-day, whether it's current customers and clients or potential customers and clients. So for example, you have customer experience who are probably the people talking to our current customer base on the day-to-day, addressing all the highs and the lows that come with, them using the product that you're working on. And so I think there's a lot of really, really great insights that you can take from your customer experience counterparts and bring them back into the product design and engineering sphere and look at the problem, dissect it, think about it, and understand if this is a problem that you need to address or how you can improve the overall experience based on the different highs and pain points that your current customers are running into. Then you have sales who are interacting with your potential customers. And I think they have really great insight into what are the possible opportunities that are out there and taking your mind out of the current product that you're working on and thinking about possible other solutions that you could think about moving forward into the future. So this is why I think it's important for you to be able to also talk to your sales counterparts. And then you have marketing. And I think marketing is also really important because they are the ones gauging all the different ways that the company is finding different leads and how people are interacting with the company, with the different funnels, campaigns, what are the different touch points that people are coming to you and how are they responding to the way that you're communicating with them. So this is why I think this is a layer 2, and this is why I feel like you hypothetically could interact with these different roles on a not layer 2 basis, maybe even a layer 1, depending on the role and the context that you work in. And then we have layer 3, whether it's finance, legal, business intelligence, human resources. I think, depending on the company size you work with, you can have a ton of different departments and roles that you can interact with. Or if you're working for a much smaller company, there's going to be less roles and departments that you're going to work with. But I think one thing to keep in mind here is that when we talk about these layers, it's very much a generalization. And depending on the problem space and the context that you're working in, these layers can shift for you. So for example, if you're a growth designer, you're most likely going to be interacting with marketing on a much higher level or a much more higher frequency, right? Or for example, if you're working on a problem space that has to deal with like privacy and data and legal and all that stuff, you may end up working with the legal department a ton just because you want to make sure that your company doesn't get sued. So take all of this with just as insight into what it could possibly look like and what those interactions could possibly look like. I think it's more important to be aware of how these different roles can bring insights into your process as a designer, and how you can take those insights, understandings, and your coworkers' experiences to address the different problem spaces or problems that you're working on. Even though I've said that a lot of this can be a generalization, I do want to go back and touch on layer 2, and that's customer experience, sales, and marketing. And the reason why is because as designers, our goal is to build experiences for people. And so if we think about it, the people that use our product are our customers, right? And layer 2, like I mentioned, are the people who are interacting with our customers the most. And I think connecting with this layer is going to help you as a designer understand the people that you're designing for. And so if you're ever stuck on a problem, or if you're trying to understand a specific problem space, I think it's really helpful to reach out to your customer success or customer experience coworkers and be like, hey, I've been hearing this thing, or I've been seeing this as a problem. Can you tell me more about this based on conversations you've had with our customers? And I think that will really enable you to build better experiences for the products and for the people. All right, well, that's all I had for this video. If you have any thoughts on these different layers of interactions, or if anything stood out to you, leave that in the comment below. Other than that, if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe if you'd like to see or know when I post future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.